Hey guys, Dov here with some more Total War Warhammer 2 multiplayer action. So on my IMRIK video I released a few days ago, some of you guys had some concerns about IMRIK potentially being a little bit too powerful, so I decided let's get a test game, a proper test game. Flying Tacos taking IMRIK, and we're against Norsca. So let's go ahead and take a look at the builds here very quick. In slow-mo, we don't need to take too long, but we've got Silver and Guard here, Frontliner Rangers, Spearmen over on this side, we've got, Dragon Princes, very good, Mage of Life, War Lions, Silver Helms, a couple of Silver Helms for myself, we've got WULFRIK. I would consider him in that top tier of combat monster characters, alongside IMRIK, Kolek maybe not so much. I think he's fallen behind a little bit because he doesn't really have, like, an assassination debuff, but also got the War Shrine here, got a little bit cheaper, Frontline and Marauders, couple Berserkers, a bunch of Marauder Horsemen as well. We've got the Norscan Ice Wolves, Beasts of Tashnar hiding over there, and a Famir Balefiend Lore of Fire. So, yeah, this is not a great build for a number of reasons on my end. I'm relying on fire damage potentially here. You can see Lord of the Dragons being used on the War Shrine, Cascading Fire Cloak also being used, a big old charge in the center. The Silver Helms and the War Lions going to go ahead and faint away as the Berserkers follow up. They probably should have just face charged those Berserkers there. But, yeah, so the War Shrine ability gives fire damage, and I was going to kind of be relying on this, but IMRIK, of course, its Giver of Glory, gives melee attack and fire damage. IMRIK, of course, has fire resistance, as do these Dragon Princes. So, yeah, maybe not ideal. Oh, I also do have these Marauder Ice Wolf Chariots in the front line. Berserkers and Marauders doing a great job along with the Chariots, cleaning up the High Elf Infantry. That being said, IMRIK's doing a lot of damage to this War Shrine Mammoth here. It's already taken a lot of damage from him, and the Dragon Princes. Let's get in close, very thematic. IMRIK fighting alongside these Dragon Princes, but here comes the other Mammoth, getting in an absolute traffic jam. We should see Hunter of Champions, or maybe I already used it, not really sure. But, yeah, regardless, IMRIK's going to have to pull back up in the air, but the High Elf army here is just getting absolutely crumped in the front line. These Silver Helms getting pretty well wrecked. My Marauder Horsemen also, there's not really a counter for them here at all in the High Elf roster. So we're going to see a regrowth on these, on the War Lions. Interesting, they only have 14 models, so that is a pretty good use of that, but my Balefiend just about gets caught out by IMRIK. Thankfully, WULFRIK and the other Mammoth are close enough, along with the Ice Wolf Chariots, that we can come in here and using the Ice Wolf Chariots Frostbite. Once they make contact, it'll slow IMRIK down significantly. You can see there, speed down to 51, so we should be able to keep up with him, and at least for the time being, keep him on the ground with those Ice Wolf Chariots. The Ice Wolf Chariots themselves are 95 speed, so they can easily just keep up and stay in contact. And at the very least, keep IMRIK on the ground. Probably he should just turn around and destroy them, but with WULFRIK also being around, it's very dangerous. The Wolves came up and around here. Been using them to go after the War Lions and other kind of large units. The War Lions, after that regrowth, are looking pretty healthy. They're going to charge back in here in just a moment. Silver Helms and other units kind of getting going, but already the balance power is slightly in my favor, and IMRIK's not looking too great. He is getting multi-charged here by the Marauder Horsemen, again, to keep him on the ground while WULFRIK gets the attacks. The Chariots are also still there, providing that Frostbite. So, yeah, down to 12 speed with the Hunter of Champions and the Frostbite IMRIK. There's no way for him to escape here. And that will be a sad day for him. The rest of the High Elf forces are going to continue to fight here. The healer's still alive as well, I believe. So IMRIK can potentially get, a regrowth. It does look like the regrowth now coming down. Starland's active. The fire damage definitely going to be good against Norsca, in theory, on IMRIK, but I just think the Star Dragon mount for him in this matchup especially, given that Norsca is so good at hunting monsters, it's pretty tough to make work, and I wouldn't really consider IMRIK more powerful than, say, like WULFRIK, for example. I actually think that WULFRIK is objectively a much better lord, given that he has an AoE, Frostbite attack ability. It does a lot of damage to infantry and cavalry, right, with the boat. He has an assassination debuff as well. I mean, yes, he doesn't have the map-wide effect of the Dragon Horn, but honestly, I think a lot of people are way overblowing the Dragon Horn. I mean, it is certainly very strong. Any kind of map-wide effect is bound to be very, very strong, especially a map-wide melee attack effect. But granted, keep in mind it is very short. It only lasts about 17 seconds. It does have a 5-second cast time as well. It's one of the only bound abilities that actually has a cast time, but here we can see the War Lions fighting the Ice Wolves, the biggest of the wolves, pushing back the lines. Ice Wolves actually will trade very efficiently into the War Lions. as will the Beasts of Tashnar, so that's great there. The Silverin Guards actually are a unit that I think would be excellent in this matchup. Their charge defense against all means they'll resist the charges of like Berserkers and stuff. They have magic resistance as well, which is obviously a counter for Famir. And yeah, like burning heads and stuff. I actually think Silverin Guard's going to be quite good here. But yeah, IMRIK, he's just expensive. I mean, he's 3,300 points in this kit usually. And given that as it is, like, your decision oftentimes of where you can land and get value from him, I mean, there's very few units that IMRIK's going to land on that cost more than him, so you really have to get your work in with him to make him pay for himself, which you can. Here he finishes off the War Shrine, but I mean, he's pretty much only been targeting the War Shrine this entire time. He's done some damage to some other units, but keep in mind that War Shrine's only 2,100 points now, so that's, what, 1,100 points of value from IMRIK that he's not getting. So yeah, I mean, he is powerful, don't get me wrong, but he is so expensive, and if you misuse him and land in the wrong place, you can get killed very easily. He honestly doesn't have that much HP at the end of the day, but yeah, definitely a fun game. WULFRIK able to rack up 124 kills there. Ice Wolf Chariots definitely did a great job, and the War Shrine just tanked all of the damage, which was great for me. Yeah, the Ice Wolf squad here with the Beasts of Tashnar doing a good job kind of countering the War Lions and the Silver Helms and such. You can see the Silverin Guard, again, 31 kills. They're one of the healthiest units still on the field. Only going to be solid in this matchup. But, yeah, let's just go straight to it. Dragon Princess also did pretty well here in racking up some kills and staying alive. But, yeah, as far as this matchup goes, Norsca versus High Elves, I think, yeah, IMRIK, honestly, I might take him on foot here. And there's a specific reason for that. He would count as infantry, and he only has 3,000 HP. That is pretty low, but he's a halberd lord, right? He has 60 attack, 60 defense, and essentially a halberd. And halberds tend to be pretty good against Norsca because of their monster focus as well. Like mammoths and Famirs tend to be weak against halberd type lords. So you could potentially take him on foot here. Again, the lack of HP is a little bit of a concern for me. He could get deleted pretty quick. On the horseback, he has a little bit more HP, but he then counts as large. I guess against mammoths specifically, that would actually be better, because then mammoths do have a bonus versus infantry, right? So maybe you take him on the horse, makes him still relatively cheap. Dragonhorn, I mean, I guess I'll hang on to it because it's so good. Same with the Lore of Dragons, and Starlance we definitely want here for the fire damage. But then I probably would go with a front line of Silverin Guards here. Considering the magic resistance and the expert charge defense, also better AP values and weapon damage in general against some of those larger big targets. Yeah, Lore of Life, I mean, it's a little boring, but it's definitely very strong. I would probably go with Shield of Thorns. Personally, I like Shield of Thorns. I guess maybe in this matchup because of the magic damage, maybe take Earthblood instead. But generally, I like Shield of Thorns better than Earthblood because it prevents the damage from happening in the first place, and it can hit more units at a time, as well as giving an offensive output boost with the weapon strength. Base weapon damage, rather. But yeah, for the rest, it's an interesting one. You know, you could, if you were to go with... it's going to be tough to protect these units against Norsca, but in theory, something like just these two archers could get a lot of work done. This is already a pretty expensive build, though, so maybe we come in here, grab some Reavers for some mobility. We don't have any terror units as well, so we could probably come in here and grab a Flamespire Phoenix. It'd be good against, you know, the light armor infantry of Norsca. Dropping poop, fire damage is relevant here. Can help support terror bombs and so on. And then, yeah, maybe we only go 3 Silverin Guards, and then that would allow us to take, like, 3 Spearmen as well. So we've got a nice wide line of anti-large, a little bit of magic resistance, some fire damage, a little bit of mobility, some nice attack buffs, which for the spears will actually be quite nice, considering they have generally low attack, like even the Silverin Guards. So this, you know, this Dragonhorn, in theory, once the Norskins are engaged in the front line, should be very good against these spearmen here. But it's an interesting one. It's definitely an interesting one. It's a matchup that I'll kind of have to play around with a little bit, but it definitely seems like the Silverin Guards are a promising option here. IMRIK, I think, has some stuff going for him here, certainly with Starlance. And, yeah, we don't have Kindle Flame here. We could definitely get Kindle Flame, but, you know, as it is right now, it's preferring the healing. That's not too bad. Honestly, with this build, there's not a ton that needs to be healed, so you definitely could forego the healing and bring Lore of Fire instead. I definitely wouldn't bring the Dragon Mage. It's going to be way too squishy for your caster, but just bringing, like, Fireball's okay. But definitely Cascading Fire Cloak and Burning Head. Burning Head to roast infantry, and Cascading Fire Cloak to give extra melee defense and armor piercing damage, especially to like the Flamespire Phoenix or to IMRIK with his great AP values. It'll be quite strong. And yeah, fireballs can just be slung around wherever, so this might also be pretty good. You're getting value from the Kindle Flame, and you've got a lot of fire synergy here with the solid front line. Silver and Guards, again, I think will be solid here. So I've rambled on long enough. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button, so every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.